I tried to tell them there was only 2 people there, and they kept looking for more. They had their SWAT team with 4 loaded rifles pointing at the front door, waiting for a 3rd person inside. There was no one. The fire department couldn't get in to put out the fire in the proper way because they assumed there was bombs or another gunman inside. There was nothing like that. These people were gentle but crazy. You know, Jason went off of his medications, and he believed that it was the time of the end and his house was haunted, and talking like a prophet, an insane prophet for the last 3 days, and he just went totally out of it. And I heard them banging on sheet metal around midnight, so I took out my video camera and I thought I'd witness whatever and record it. And then I noticed Jeremiah was out there naked, breaking the windows of their vehicles, and they loved their cars. And
what was he using to break them?
A stick. Jason told him to take a stick and break the windows and destroy. A wooden stick, I think. And let's see. And then Jason said, "The stove. Turn the stove on." So I saw smoke coming up from the stove, and I assumed they were going to burn the house down because it was the end of the world for them. They're nuts. And so I called 911, and they said, "Do you see fire and smoke?" I can't for sure say that, but I know they're trying to burn the house down. She said, "Well then, just wait." So I called back again. I said, "I think you need fire trucks." They set up in front of the doorway about 20 feet away and pointed their rifles at the doorway. And then the firemen came in with ladders to get to the 2nd story. The cops were up there like this, getting ready to shoot somebody up there. And I said, "There's nobody else in the house." We heard 4 pop, 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 pop. And then Jason said, "Jeremiah, they've killed you. I love you, Jeremiah." And Jason was saying, "What have you done to my partner?" So, and they tasered the dog, but they couldn't taser the man.
And both men were naked?
Yeah. They were both naked and just crazy. And it was building up to a crescendo. Every day they'd been getting more and more, not them, Jason was getting delusional. And he told me, "I finally convinced Jeremiah that this is the truth, you know, and that AC power is bad, and see these wires around here, we have to disconnect our house from the grounding, and we have to turn the breakers off at night, and there's going to be a big electrical storm."
When did he tell you that?
3 days ago. He started talking delusionally, and then Friday night at 2 a.m. Jeremiah was banging on our door and said, "I've got to get Jason's medications." So I let him through, and he had a flashlight.
Because
and
why did he
Jason's medications were over the fence, and he said, I said, "Are you trying to keep them away from him or what?" And he said, "They have to be refrigerated." And so
Jason threw his medication
over the fence
into your yard.
Into our yard.
So
Jeremiah came in the middle of the night to retrieve the medication. Right, which we assume were psychotropic because we don't know medications. Yeah, he's got arthritis and osteo, and
but they came to get the medication out of the yard. That was night before last.
You're right.
And then
Friday night they came in the middle of the night to get the medication. Jeremiah did, banging on the door. And then Saturday morning, Jeremiah came over with the manual to our truck and said, "We'll be able to fix it later." But he was looking like a zombie, and he was all haggard, and then that was it.
Did you actually see him with a rifle?
I wasn't close enough. I didn't want to get near the
guns.
Guns. No.
I mean, it was all over by then.
I was over here and I heard 4 pops. Did you?
You and I were standing right there when they started shooting.
Yeah.
Ellen said
there was
6.
Shock.